Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today we're going to be ranking Series 5 of Doctor Who, Matt Smith's first season. My favorite Matt Smith season. I think the way he plays the Doctor is perfect in here, because I do think there's an argument to be made that he got a little sillier as time went on, a little more caricaturish. Still good. Matt's a great Doctor. But I really like the fine line he walks here between the kind of dark old man and the kind of silly young man. I think it's that perfect balance in Series 5. And there's some good stories here. Starting at the bottom, and it's not the one some of you think it might be. We're going to go with the Hungry Earth and, was it Cold Blood or whatever it is, the Silurian two-parter. I don't really care for this one. I don't like the updated look for the Silurians. They look a little too human, especially with those very human eyes. It doesn't work for me. The story doesn't work for me. I never go back to this one. I think I've watched it like 3 times, because I've had a couple times I've watched it with other people who were watching it for the first time. And I don't connect with it. I don't care for it. I just find it uninteresting. I'd rather go and watch, Doctor Who and the Silurians with the 3rd Doctor. Or even Warriors of the Deep with the 5th Doctor. I like that one even better than this one. It just doesn't work for me. Number 9 is Amy's Choice. Same thing. Don't really care for this one. Don't understand why some people like this one, really. I think, what's his name? Toby, the guest star that's playing the Dream Lord, the one who plays in the MCU. I like him a lot. I like him as an actor in general, but he does a really good job as the Dream Lord here. He is, I think, the best part of the episode. The actual story I don't care for when they're jumping back and forth between the quaint little village and the TARDIS. Maybe I just don't like Doctor Who stories of quaint little villages. Maybe Nikoku is right. I don't know, or however he pronounces his name is right. He picks on me about not liking stories of quaint little villages like the Daemons, which is, to me, I like the Daemons. I just don't love the Daemons. And Android Invasion, which I don't care for and have to rewatch soon. But yeah, this was another one. I don't know, the old people with the alien mouths, the Amy getting on to Roy. Well, what is the point of you? And I'm like, he saves planet. Shut up. I don't get into this one. It bores me to tears. With the exception of Toby. Toby's great in it. And I love the realization of how the Doctor realizes who Toby is really, really quick. Who the Dream Lord is, the Doctor knows almost immediately. But we don't find out till the end. I thought that was a nice little touch. And I like that little bit at the end when he sees the reflection in the TARDIS console. But it's like 5 minutes of a good story crammed into like a 45-minute story that I don't care for. Number 8 on the list is Vincent and the Doctor. Most of you guys who watch my channel, I'm not a fan of Vincent and the Doctor. I mean, it has some objective things I don't like the alien being basically a giant rooster. I don't like when Doctor Who aliens are basically just Earth animals, but they walk on 2 feet or something like that. I just don't care for that. It seems very unoriginal, very uninspired, so I don't really like that here. But, of course, I've mentioned before, I don't really like the ending. The whole him taking Vincent to the future thing, it just seems very self-indulgent, self-gratifying. It's the closest I've ever seen Doctor Who come to masturbation, honestly. And it really puts me off the whole episode. And then the implication that later in the 2-parter at the end, when he paints the TARDIS exploding, and he's very upset about it, there's an implication there that that might be the reason why Vincent died. He was so upset that his friend the Doctor's TARDIS exploded. And I don't know if the Doctor ever went back to tell him it was okay. That could be a slip up on Matt Smith's part. So there is an implication there that the Doctor is the reason Vincent died, which also really makes me not like this episode a lot. Number 7 is where we're actually getting into ones I like. The Pandora opens and the Big Bang. I actually enjoy this one. I know there's a lot going on in it, but I do really enjoy it. I think the Autons are used really well here. It's very clever having them used as basically disguises to trick the Doctor and get him to lower his guard. I think that's very, very clever, and a very clever way to bring back a classic Who villain, even though, yes, I know they've been in Rose. But I think they're utilized really, really well here, and I really like that. I also like the Big Bang. There's a lot going on in it, but I like it. I think Matt Smith's really good in here. I love when he first shows up with the hat and the mop. I really love the use of time travel here. Stephen Moffat really does get the fact he's a time traveler, and he uses that aspect of the Doctor to his advantage a lot in his stories, and he's really on the ball with the fact that the Doctor's a time traveler here. And I think he ties everything up pretty well in this two-parter. I think I like it a little more than most, but I think it's really good. Number 6 is The Lodger. I love the Doctor with Craig. I don't think the story is the best. That's why it's a little lower on the list. But I love the 11th Doctor with Craig. I do. Same thing with Closing Time. Not the best story, but anytime they're in a story together, it's very humorous. I'm a person who loves humor. I love funny things that make me laugh. So anytime they're on screen together, it's gold for me. Number 5 is Vampires in Venice. I really love this one a lot. I really like the dynamic between the 11th Doctor and the main female, the kind of mom to the whole fish family. I forget her name in it. The actress playing her does such a good job. Her and the Doctor seem to have a respect for each other. Like there's a mutual, much like the Doctor and the Master tend to have during the Pertwee era. There's a respect there. They treat each other with a respect that I really like. You can see. I love when they're taking turns asking questions. Where are you from? Gallifrey. You belong in a museum or a mausoleum. And I love that scene so much. I really enjoy Amy and Rory here trying to take charge. I like that scene when Matt gets mad and explains to him, it's not a democracy. When I tell you to wait in the TARDIS, you wait in the TARDIS. I like Matt when he shows that kind of Colin Baker temper occasionally. I really, really enjoy that here. There's some humorous bits between the 11th Doctor and Rory. The whole bit about coming out of the wedding cake, that whole scene is funny to me. Oh no, don't worry, she's a great kisser. I love that. The scene when they're playing with the UV light. Yours is bigger, let's not go there. I love the bit when when the vampire girls show up and he doesn't see them in the mirror and he's like, how are you doing that? Tell me the whole plan. And they just hiss at him. He's like, one day that'll work. It has a lot of nice humorous beats, but a lot of nice, really serious moments as well. It balances it really well. I really enjoy this story. Number 4 is the Time of Angels two-parter. I like this one. While not as strong as Blink, I still think it's a pretty good outing for the Weeping Angels. I feel like they hadn't been diluted yet. I don't think that would really happen until their next story in season 7. I think the Angels are used really well here. Differently than Blink, but I like it. Not quite sure about the scene where they're moving around. Part of me likes that. The first time I watched it, I thought it was really neat. Looking back, I don't think I care for that as much. I think it takes a little away from their mystique. I do like the Angels talking to him with the voice of Dead Bob, just to kind of make a mockery of it to the Doctor and rub it in his face. I actually do really enjoy his speech about there's one thing you've never put in a trap. That was pretty neat. I really enjoyed seeing River back. I think she's really good here. So yeah, I think it's a solid two-parter for the Angels. I don't feel like they've been overused yet here. I kind of liked their little victory lap. Speaking of victory, number 3 is Victory of the Daleks. This one's probably a little higher than most people would put it. But as time goes on, I like Victory more and more. It is an inferior version of Power. And I've even done a video about this one called Why It Was Almost Great. I don't mind the new Daleks as much. I didn't like them when the episode first aired. I did prefer the Ironside Daleks. I think they look better. But over time, I've got to where the Paradigm Daleks are fine. I don't mind them. I think they harken back to the Cushing movies. My biggest complaint with the issue that rubs me the wrong way is the World War II planes flying around in space. My willing suspension of disbelief goes out the window there. World War II planes flying around in space. My mind just grabs its suitcases, slams the door, and goes, no. That's the one thing that pulls this out of the really great category for me. Really, the one thing. I love the guy playing Churchill in it. I love how well Churchill and the Doctor get along. The fact they're old friends and they have great rapport. I love that. I love the scientist who actually thinks he created the Daleks, but it turns out the Daleks created him. I like him. I like his story. I like how they managed to save him from being a bomb. I like that the Doctor lets him go. I love the fact the Daleks win and get away. It really is Victory of the Daleks. It's nice to see the Daleks win and escape. They tricked the Doctor and they won, and we don't get to see that enough. We don't get the Deus Ex Machina ending when he blows them all up like happens so often in the show. I really like the fact it really is a different story, and the Daleks get away. That's really nice for me. I want to see more of that. Number 2 is The Beast Below. Again, I think this is one I like more than most people. I think Matt's really good. Again, I really like early Matt when he balances the humor with the seriousness really well. The bit about him with children is really good. I like how he uses the water to test. I like the lady playing Liz 10. She's really good. I like how the Doctor figures out who she is by the mask that was made to fit her that's like 300 years old. I love how Amy saves the day with her, old and kind and the last of its kind. It's a really good story. I love that bit when Matt gets mad about his "nobody human has anything to say to me today." I love that speech. Again, a little bit of Colin Baker coming through there. I really like when Matt kind of has that temper explosion when he's angry, especially very early in his run. We're still adjusting to him at this point. The Beast Below is one I think is underrated. I think it's a really good story with all of the guest cast and the main cast really firing on all cylinders. And number one is The 11th Hour. It's my favorite Matt Smith story. I think it's objectively the best post-regeneration story. Not my favorite, but objectively the best one. It's a really good post-regeneration story. Really hits the ground running. It doesn't waste any time. It really introduces you to the new dynamic, the new Doctor. I mean, you just love him from the get-go. Matt's so great in this role. It has a good way of establishing a close connection between a Doctor and companion, even though it's her first story. By having him meet her as a child and her fixating on him, by the time he comes back, she's attached to him. So we already have this bond between them in the first story because of the way that's written. It's very clever. I like the alien threat. It's a neat idea. I don't really like the design of the alien, but the idea I think is interesting. I like meeting Rory here, even though we don't see him a lot. And I love the showdown at the end with the Atraxi. I love seeing the footage of all the previous Doctors and him walking through saying, "I'm the Doctor, basically run." I absolutely love that scene. I think it's one of the best scenes in the show's history. I squeed like a 15-year-old girl when I saw all the previous Doctors and the holograms. I'm not going to lie. That was a happy moment for me. I love The 11th Hour. I think it's one of the best episodes in all of Doctor Who. And it's definitely my favorite for the season and my favorite for Matt Smith's era, and one of the best, I think, in the new show's run. So that is my ranking for Series 5. What do you think of Series 5, and what do you think of my list? Comment down below and let me know what you think. I'm always interested in finding out your opinions on things. So let me know. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. Also, if you would like to contribute to my Patreon, become one of my patrons, there is a link to that down below. Through the entire month of June, anyone who joins even at the entry level of just $2 a month, just $2 a month, gets access to stuff usually reserved only for higher tier levels, like access to videos and access to polls. I should have another one up hopefully by the time this airs. I have a couple that just finished up I need to do videos for. I'll be doing that soon, so check that out. Most importantly, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.